Welcome to the Internet Confessional Booth, where the internet confesses, we gonna listen, and we gonna talk about them. So come on, y'all, let's see what they talking about today in the Internet Confessional Booth.
Okay, so I basically told y'all that I was gonna give y'all the story time of how I went to. Okay, so I basically told y'all that I was gonna give y'all the story time of how I went to prison. So basically, I kept getting phone calls to my people's house, and my peoples kept calling me. Was like, "Hey, the Treasury is looking for you." I was so green at the time, like so under the radar, because y'all, I don't engage in criminal activity. Like this
You
just happened to
engage
be
in some
something that
kind
just
of
stumbled
criminal
across me.
activity.
I'm innocent. So I'm like, Treasury. I paid my taxes. Why is they calling? Okay. Still, November, Treasury calling. December come, Treasury still calling. So February of last year come. My people's like, hey, the Treasury calling, call this number. I called the number, y'all, off of one of my business phones. It's one of my little throwaways. I'm like, hey, yeah, it's me. They're like, hey, we heard that you're a wonderful young lady. We just wanted to let you know that it's a warrant out for your arrest. I was like, oh, all right, cool. I'm going to come take care of it as soon as I can. He was like, ma'am, they ain't how this work, ma'am. I'm like, what you mean? Like I said, I'm going to come handle it. I'm going to come take care of it as soon as I can. He was like, man, we need you to turn yourself in as soon as tomorrow. Are you able to do that? Immediately, hang up with him,
Hang
call
up
my
on
lawyer.
you.
All right, so part two
Okay, part
of
one went
how I went to prison.
fast.
And by the way, y'all, I'm
Okay, part one went real fast. Only thing she told us that was the treasurer was calling her, and she hung up on them. Okay, this is gonna be quick.
smiling because this is such a rarity for me. Like I said in the previous video, I am not a person that just be in trouble. That's not even my stilo. But I just can't believe that I'm actually sitting here on TikTok a whole year later after actually going to prison and telling this story. Like I'm blessed for real. Okay, so basically, after I called and they said that I need to turn myself in, this is on the Thursday. I immediately hung up with that man. I think I had agreed to it, but I immediately hung up with him and I called my lawyer. I told my lawyer what was going on. My lawyer was like, hey, let me tap in first, because I got relationships.
So when people just have lawyers on retainer, do you think that they are like known criminals? Like, because how do just an average Joe, or why do an average Joe just have a lawyer on retainer? Or did you already have some kind of past experience that you used that lawyer and now you're using that lawyer again? You get what I'm saying? Because, like, me, I don't have no lawyer. I don't have no one that I can just. I don't have a lawyer, or I don't have a lawyer or a lawyer's office that I can just call and say, "Hey, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. I need help." I have to do my research to see what lawyer, what part of town, if they're in my city, if they're in the next city over. Like, I don't know. That's just so odd to me that someone that doesn't get in trouble, someone that doesn't be in trouble, doesn't get in trouble, doesn't have any, you just have a lawyer on retainer. Or maybe that lawyer may be your friend. I don't know. But that's just kind of weird to me.
So I just first need to see who on your case, who your judge is, what's going on. Woo, woo, woo. Number one, nobody told me that in a federal case that you're technically not supposed to pay your lawyer. I had done Apple paid this man $1,500 immediately. I was like, I'm not trying to sit down. I can't go to jail. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do with jail. Ain't nothing jail gonna be able to do with me. Like, how we gonna get this cracking? So, time done passed. It's the weekend now. Still ain't heard nothing from, the feds. Ain't nobody calling me. Ain't nobody at my door. Cool, that's what I'm thinking. The next week come, Monday come. At the time, the person I was dating was driving my car. My car got stopped. And he was like, they drew down on him the first time. I was like, drew down on you? Like, that's crazy word. And he was like, basically, they asked, where was I, the driver of the car? Why was he driving? Where was he going with the route? Now, we're going to come back to this later, so make sure y'all bookmark that part. But something was a little fishy about that. I don't really like that too much. If y'all want a part three, stay tuned. It's on the way. Okay, so
You know we want that
part
part
three
three.
of how I went to prison. So how we ended part two was basically the person that I was dating at the time was driving my car. They got stopped by the feds. The feds drew down on
Baby, if you mess with that thin ponytail one more time, girl, just tell the story.
them, asked them where was the owner of the car, da 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 da. This happened. This started happening, I believe, maybe on a Sunday or a Monday. No, it started happening on a Monday. So Wednesday morning come, the person once again that I'm dating leaves, walks out of the house. I'm talking to this person on the same phone that I made the phone call off of to call the treasury, aka the feds. It's almost less than immediately after he walked out of the door and went to work. Immediately, I got a knock on the door. Boom, 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 boom. I already knew what time it was. When they walked in, it probably was like 10 grams on the table. They was polite. They told me to put it up. They told me to make sure that my cell phones was turned off. And by this time, I don't know if strings was already pulled and my lawyer had already made the calls that he was supposed to make. But from my knowledge, I later found out that he did call the investigator, and he told them basically that he was representing me. So when they came in, they was already under the impression that it was gonna be boom, bam, bam. So they told me basically to turn my phones off, that I was gonna be right back, that it wasn't gonna be long. Me personally, I don't trust the feds, so I don't know if that's something they tell everybody like, oh, this is gonna be fast, da 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 da. But if you know anything like I know about the feds, they work slow and they backwards.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most backwards three-letter agencies that ever existed. So boom, I go down to the federal building or whatnot. They asking me like check-in questions. They checking me in. They fingerprint me. Next thing you know, they transfer me to the transfer center. This is the same transfer center that I had to end up sitting at for like 5 months. By the way, ain't nothing but one transfer center that's federal here, and that's in Lovejoy. If you know, you know. So I'm basically sitting in intake, waiting to see what's finna be what. So I was in custody for about 18 hours. Next thing you know, boom, I'm back down at the federal building. They giving me an ankle monitor. That's when I was on my ankle monitor last summer. I ended up going to prison because I violated. Stay tuned for part 4.
Okay.
All right, so part 4.
Okay, so before she get into part four, I really hope she breaks it down and tell us what exactly what it was and what her partner at the time has to do with it. Because remember, she told us to put a pin in it, and she's gonna come back to that. So we need to know some details because this story is going rather fast, and I believe it's only 5 parts, maybe 6, and we already on part 4. So this story is going really fast with no valid information or no, a real information of why you went to jail or how you went to jail. So come on, sis, give us a little more detailed information.
Of how I went to prison. So fast forward, we done did all of the intake. I done got booked. I done kind of experienced what the whole Fed situation is like at this point. Not from the inside, but from the outside. So I'm like, woo, skated that. You feel me? Like I ain't realized that it was that simple to just like get out, get an ankle monitor type. Okay, cool. Last year was like my year for my career to like catapult to a completely different level. I had just got on a radio show. I was getting paid bookings back to back to back every weekend. My TikTok was doing well. Actually, all of my socials was doing well. I was strictly financing my life just off of what I love to do. So at that point, I don't really see nothing going too wrong with me having this ankle monitor on, except I didn't realize that for one, I was going to be unable to wear the type of clothes that I wanted to wear. It was going to be very hard for me to try to camouflage this in certain environments that I was in. And yes, the music industry is accepting of people that got legal situations going on, but that's not how I present myself. I'm not that type of woman, you feel me?
Mhm.
And I felt like I was being followed. Literally, I felt like I was being followed. At the same time that I had got this ankle monitor on, my house had got robbed. Both of my cell phones got stolen. It was difficult for me to access any of my peoples or what I had going on. And remember, I make my money on my phone. So it was almost like a personal vendetta that somebody had with me because they realized that I had gotten in a situation. And I don't know if they felt like I was going to end up telling on them or doing something different, but I ain't set up like that. And even though I'm innocent, at the same time, I don't rock like that. I stand on a certain code. If you feel me, you feel me. If you picking up what I'm putting down, I appreciate it. But yeah, so that's how that went. So boom, I violated. Once again, guns drawn. Hey, you under arrest. Except this time, I actually got booked. When I got booked, I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be out soon. Man, these folks took me to Rice Street. So I'm thinking to myself, well, if I'm in Rice Street, then this might like be like a sign.
So Did she say why they arrested her this time? Because I don't recall. Should I rewind it a little bit? Let's see.
And yes, the music industry is accepting of people that got legal situations going on, but that's not how I present myself. I'm not that type of woman, you feel me? And I felt like I was being followed. Literally, I felt like I was being followed. At the same time that I had got this ankle monitor on, my house had got robbed, both of my cell phones got stolen. It was difficult for me to access any of my peoples or what I had going on. And remember, I make my money on my phone. So it was almost like a personal vendetta that somebody had with me because they realized that I had gotten in a situation. And I don't know if they felt like I was going to end up telling on them or doing something different, but I ain't set up like that. And even though I'm innocent, at the same time, I don't rock like that. I stand on a certain code. If you feel me, you feel me. If you picking up what I'm putting down, I appreciate it. But yeah, so that's how that went. So boom, I violated. Once again,
Okay. She
guns
just
drawn.
said. Okay, so she said she just violated. She didn't say what she did to violate. So, okay.
Hey, you under arrest. Except this time, I actually got booked. When I got booked, I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be out soon. Man, these folks took me to Rice Street. So I'm thinking to myself, well, if I'm in Rice Street, then this might be like a sign that it's just gonna be fast because they don't do like holding at Rice Street, and it's not federal. Like that's just where folk go when they get locked up. No, 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 baby. They came, they transferred me from Rice Street, took me back to Lovejoy, the first place that I was before I had got my ankle monitor on, and I sat there. Now my experience once I got there was my experience once I got there. I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want to deal with nobody. Before I had got to prison, I had um, a real bias towards people that was incarcerated, especially women, because I was like, women don't belong there. They ain't no place for no woman to go. Like I had like a stigma attached to people that I thought that was women that was in jail. Like, why y'all in here? Like y'all gotta be some real rapists, some real criminals. You dig what I'm saying? So I didn't want to be involved with nobody. I was super, super secluded. I personally requested them to put me in PC because I already knew what time it was. Less than about 57 days done went by. Boom, my first fight. Big old, big old. She about 200 pounds, about 6'1". Caught her sleeping. She had her back turned. I told nobody about the situation. I ain't want to know audience. Walked down game. For sure, for sure, for sure. Walked down, walked up on me. Ain't giving no chance to even think about it. Where I was at after that day, the staff and everybody else, like it was a completely different environment for me. Jail culture itself, if you know anything, is completely different. Like they praise some of the most ignorant things. I personally requested to be secluded because I didn't want to get involved in what I consider to be the circus. But something that I realized in jail that if you don't stand on business, that you'll keep having people at your door all the time. Whether it's by the microwave, whether it's by the phone. So after that day, I ain't had no more issues at Lovejoy, having my way, doing what I needed to do until my time was
Okay, you was a big
finished.
dog.
So
Okay.
fast forward, I ended up getting transferred to prison in Texas. That's gonna be part 5. All right, so story time part 5 of how I went to prison. Okay, y'all. So basically, when I got to Texas, I'm not gonna lie, it literally felt like I was at a girls' cheerleading camp. And besides that part, I met a lot of dope, very, very dope women. Almost every person that I attracted, they was there on a money charge. So it really wasn't a situation where I had to worry too much about cattiness and rah-rah and drama and all the extraness. It was really people that was really just trying to do their time and go home. Prison is different. We had something that was called 10-minute moves, meaning every hour on the 45 is when we'll be able to move. So if you had to go to like a RDAP class or something to help you get time off, like FSA or something like that, that'll start like 7:45 in the morning. You would literally have to move between 7:45 and 7:55, and all the doors closed. We had something called indoor rec, outdoor rec. Outdoor rec is similar to like a football field. And remind you, it's not that many women federal facilities that's in the BOP. So the ones that they do have, they kind of cater to us. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of sweet for females. The inside rec, they gave us the option of shooting pool. We used to be able to put together puzzles, read books, watch movies, play ping pong, indoor basketball, like a whole total layout for like working out and stuff like that. But yeah, y'all, Y'all probably know a couple of people that I was in there with. I was in there with Max, that's JT ex girlfriend. I was in there with Ashley. What was her name? Ashley Grayson, super super sweet, and a couple other people. But overall, the experience
Mm.
just taught me a whole lot about patience, how to have patience on the outside and on the inside, and of course, how to remain humble. Jail will most definitely humble you because there you ain't nothing but a number. It don't matter how fine you is or how many people know you or what you did on the outside. You still got khakis and blues or whatever else in a bump just like everybody else. But yeah, y'all, that's basically it. I'm gonna just wrap it up with that. It's not too much I can say, and like I said, I'm not gonna go into too many details about nothing. But if y'all got any questions or concerns, or if y'all can relate to this story,
Girl.
comment below. And something else that I would say is that if you experiencing an incarceration, like you personally doing time with a family member or with a loved one, just always have a certain um, type of consideration for people that's incarcerated because it's a completely different thing. But yeah, so y'all been asking where I been, so that's where I been for a whole year in prison, and now I'm home and back to doing what I do. So thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching.
Girl, this really just pissed me off because you ain't tell us nothing. Absolutely nothing. This confession was boring. You could have just told that to your homegirls down the street. Well, shit, they probably already know. But this was not confessional worthy. I mean, I guess. Thank you for your story time. Thank you for giving us something to listen, and look at. But this wasn't a good confessional. I'm sorry, you guys, that we listened to this. But child, okay. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being a listener. And yeah, we're gonna confess. They're gonna confess. We're gonna listen, and we're gonna talk about them. Until next time, you guys.